So today we are looking at the EndeavourOS 2024.9.22. So this is the latest ISO file and the version is 2024.09.22. So here you can see the boot menu. So about the EndeavourOS, first let's quickly boot it in the live boot. So EndeavourOS is a rolling release Linux distribution which is based on Arch Linux, and the country of origin of EndeavourOS is Netherlands. And the desktop environment you get is the Budgie, Cinnamon, GNOME, i3, KDE Plasma, LXQT, MAT and XFCE desktop environment. You get all this desktop environment in the online installer, and the default will be the XFCE desktop environment. So I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So booting process will take like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It completely depends on every type of Linux distro. Some Linux distros will boot up quickly. Sometimes the Linux distro will take a bit more. It also on the if you downloaded the stable ISO file, then it will be very quick. When you download the development version or unstable or a beta version, it's going to take a bit more. So the user experience will be also a bit different when compared to the bare metal. In the bare metal, most of the Linux distros will be running very smoothly without any issues. In rare cases, there will be some issues, but in the virtual machine, sometimes what happens is you should be seeing like a minor lag and hiccups here and there. So that will be like a rare cases. Most of the Linux distros will run properly without issues. In the virtual box, most of the Linux distros will run like without issues. But in the VMware application, there will be some cases like some distros will give you a major lag and it will crash. Sometimes that will be the issue. And also the user experience and also the requirements or also the hardware. So the hardware resources will be a bit more in the virtual machines, and when compared to the bare metal. The bare metal will be consuming a less CPU and a less RAM also. So here is the latest ISO file, and you should be seeing the desktop layout completely loaded. So it should take a few more seconds and you should be seeing the desktop layout. So this is the latest version. You should be seeing some Calamares installer version updated and also Firefox and all those things. I'm going to show you everything. You don't need to worry about anything like a kernel version and all those things. So I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. The other video will be today is PopOS Alpha 2 version. So which will be released like I will be posting that video after this video. Like there will be like a 4-5 hours of difference because I need to edit and all those things. So that's the reason. So if you don't want to wait, you can just turn on the notification. As soon as the video is posted or available, you should be getting notified and you should be seeing the video. So it's almost like a 2 minutes now. We are not seeing anything. So it's going to take a bit more. So default or the live boot desktop environment will be the XFCE. And if you want to change anything, you can change the desktop environments after installing. The online installer will be giving all the options, but the offline installer you should be seeing only the XFCE desktop environment. I'm going to show you every information as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So let's wait and see how much of time it's going to take. I'm going to mention how much of time it's going to take. So there was some pop-up here, and as we are ending the talk, here is our desktop layout. So it took almost 3 minutes. I didn't stop talk anywhere. So these are all the available options here in the welcome screen. So the welcome screen is like this, and general information like a website, wiki, news, forum and all those things will be right here. So I'm going to change the display settings of a VMware. So in the VMware, you just need to click on that button, it automatically changes. But in the virtual boxes, you need to change the display settings on your own. So here you can change the installer or start the installer, change the display resolutions and all those things. So I'm going to close everything and let's open the task manager. So right now you should be seeing the KDE Plasma desktop environment. Sorry, I said XFCE. So it was like maybe 1 or 2 months difference posting this video. Sorry. So that's the reason I don't remember anything about the EndeavourOS. Usually it was like a XFCE desktop environment. Right now you should be seeing the KDE Plasma desktop environment. So it's been like 2-3 months I didn't make a video on the EndeavourOS. So that's the reason it was a bit of confusing. But usually I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing any day. So that's the reason when you do every video of every Linux distro daily, it will be pretty much hard to remember anything. And also I made like a 3000 videos. It's pretty much impossible for a normal human being to remember anything. So here is how the resources are consuming. So 1.3 GB of RAM, almost like a 30% of a CPU. So you need to run like a 60 seconds in the CPU to get the stable graph. You need to run like a 60 seconds or a minute to see whether the graph of a CPU is pretty much stable or not. So I'm going to keep it on the overview. Let's check the version of the about system monitor. 6.1.5. So the KDE Plasma desktop environment you get is 6.1.5. Qt version is 6.7.2. Hostname EndeavourOS. The frameworks you get is a 6.6.0. So these are all the, let's open the applications. So these are all the applications you see. On the history, it's pretty much, there is like a bit of high peak here and there. It's okay, usually it happens, but you need to run like a bit of 60 seconds, and after 60 seconds you should be seeing a stable graph, then it's okay. So everything is running properly. So this is the latest version or the latest ISO file released just a few hours ago. As soon as the ISO files are available, I will be posting videos. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe to get all the latest Linux information. So you don't miss anything in my channel. You should be getting all the latest version ISO files or the Linux distros, whatever it's available. I'm going to post it in the videos, and about the some other changes like packages and all those things will be available in the community. So you don't miss any information of the Linux. So here is how it performed, or here is how it's consuming the resources. So I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner throughout the video so you can see all the changes. Let's open the internet browser, which is a Firefox, and we're going to go to the official website. I'm going to show you the changes and downloading process and all those things. So the stable version of the Firefox is 130.0.1. So this is the latest version of the Firefox stable version, and there is also a beta version which is like a 131 beta version which is also available. So if you want to go to the release notes, you can go to the Firefox website and click on the release notes of that specific version. You should be getting all the information. So I'm going to close everything and I'm going to show you the kernel version and all those things, like some browser information and also some distro information. So let's make it bigger so you can see everything properly. So there is like a minor hiccups here and there. So it's going to be a bit different in the bare metal, but the older version of the the Linux KDE Plasma version, like a 6.1.4, has the same issue of consuming a lot of CPU, like 90-98%. I tried in the live boot, I tried in the virtual machines and also in the bare metal. The issue was same, but the KDE Plasma 6.1.5 is better. So the version you get is 130.0.1 as already mentioned. So it's based on Arch Linux 1.0. So let me type in about and support user agent, which is unnecessary for the video. So the Linux kernel you get is 6.10.10. So this is the Linux kernel you get in the EndeavourOS 2024.9.22. So let's go to the Linux kernel website. Just type in like a Linux and kernel, that's it. So I'm using a VPN, so that's the reason there is some random language here. The first link will be the official website, or else you can just type in like a www.kernel.org. So the version you get is a stable version. So you get the 0.1 lesser update here. So the stable version right now is 6.10.11. Release date is 2024.09.18. As you can see here, 6.10.10. So that's the version, just 1 point lesser. So here is some information, like a mainline version is 6.11. Most of the distros are right now running is 6.11. And stable 6.10, and the long-term versions are right here. So if you don't know what is mainline, stable and long-term, just click on the releases, and here you should be getting all the information. If you see RC in front of any kernel version, it's a release candidate, and here is the mainline version, here is the stable version, and here is the long-term version. And end of life will be right here of the specific LTS version or the long-term version. In order to get the kernel information, you just need to type in uname-r, or else you can type in like a uname-a to get the kernel information. I'm going to show you everything, so you don't need to worry about anything. So here I closed everything. OS theme, you should be getting the Breeze Dark and Advaita. So when you scroll it down, you should be seeing the memory size, which is 7.7 GB. Disk space available is 9.9 GB. So here is like a picture in picture and some browser information, which I don't consider as important. But if you consider as important, you can just pause the video and read everything. Here is some other information. Here is like a LLVM pipe, Mesa and all those things. And again, you should be seeing here also Mesa version is 24.2.3. And the window protocol is X11, desktop environment is KDE. So here are some other information like a Mesa information and the monitor resolution. So here you should be seeing some other information which I don't consider as important for the video. So I'm just going to scroll it down like this. Just pause the video and read everything. So let's go to the official website now. Just type in like a EndeavourOS. And the first link will be obviously the official website. So or else you can just type in like a EndeavourOS.com. Click on the link. Here you should be getting all the information of the EndeavourOS. And also if you don't know anything about the EndeavourOS, you can just get all the information in all those things like a download, news, ARM and all those things. So we just need the specific version. So this is the latest version information of EndeavourOS Neo. Let's click on read more. So here it says like a 5th anniversary, which is different. So let's click on this news. So our refresh release. So this is a refresh release. They call it like that. EndeavourOS or Endeavour Neo is available. So as you can see, the date is 26/2024. So it's after like a 3 months ago. So that's the reason I mentioned that it was like a 3 months ago. So that's the reason I thought like XFC will be the desktop environment. Sorry, because I'll make a lot of videos every day, so that's the reason it's pretty much very hard to remember. But when you go and watch the continue of the complete video, you should be getting all the information. So Endeavour was released and with the upstream changes. So these are all some information. So main changes we need is this one. So Endeavour Neo ships with the Calamares 24.06.2.1-1. The Firefox already mentioned, the Linux kernel already showed you. Mesa version right here, Xorg version is right here, and Nvidia version is right here. I'm going to show all the information. So these are all the main changes in this specific version. So let's read everything like this. It was 3 months ago that our 5th anniversary release Endeavour was released, and with the upstream changes we released this refresh ISO. I know I mentioned in the Endeavour release announcement that the Endeavour release name would be a one-off release name that wouldn't be followed up by a Neo and Nova release. But we decided to name this release Endeavour Neo due to the recent Pacman changes. So this release isn't shipping new features and major fixes. We are still working on those, but just the necessary bug fixes for a smooth installation and the upstream updates for the live environment and the offline installation options. So these are all the changes, but this is not a major change or anything like that as they mentioned. So, but these are all the changes you get in the latest ISO file. In order to download, you can just click on here, or else you can just click on the download. It's clearly up to you. Just click here and you should be seeing all the ISOs available. So if you want to download with the torrent, go with these options, or if you want to download with the HTTPS or in the browsers, you just need to go choose your server. So I'm choosing the United States America or the ISO here, which is the mirror or the server is a giganet. Click on the download. Here is like a signatures and all those things. Here is the version. You should be seeing the EndeavourOS or the Endeavour Neo 2024.9.22. So the correct ISO file we are downloading. So always check the ISO file when you are downloading. So the ISO files and the release version is matching right now. And here if you want to check the ISO file, here is complete information. Here are other information. So these are all the changes from this ISO file or this release. So let me close it. Let's open the terminal. So the console is the terminal. So let's type in some commands to get some browser information. Not the browser information, some distro information like a NeoFetch. So I'm going to show you the NeoFetch also later. So let me type in inxi-sv8. So it's going to provide you all the distro information. So if you want to install the NeoFetch, you already know it's based on Arch Linux, how to install the NeoFetch. So I'm going to show you the host. It says as a EndeavourOS, and the kernel is 6.10.9, which is already mentioned. Here is the 64-bit architecture. Compiler GCC version is 14.2.1, and these are all some other information which I don't consider as important. So desktop environment is a KDE Plasma, version is a 6.1.5. So this is the latest version, and also there is like a beta version of 6.2 or something like that. So if you want some information, you can just type in like a kde.org and you should be getting all the KDE Plasma information. So the frameworks version is 6.6.0, and the distro itself is called as EndeavourOS, based on Arch Linux. And this is some virtual machine information which is unnecessary for the video. So about the RAM, 8 GB of RAM, and available is 7.72 GB, and used is 1.59 GB. As you can see, it's a 1.6 GB here. So these are all some information. So here is my CPU, which is i5-1240p, which I already mentioned. So these are all like speed vulnerabilities which is unnecessary. So let's go to the graphics. So VMWGFX version is 2.20, so that's the version. And the display Xorg version is 21.1.13, which is already mentioned in the official website itself, with the XVLAN version 24.1.2. And this is my monitor resolution. Here are available monitor resolutions, and EGL version is 1.5, and Compact V version is 4.3, OpenGL version is 4.5. Mesa version is 24.2.3, so that's the version of the Mesa. Here is the Vulkan, no Vulkan data available. And here is the audio information. Here is the ELSA. Pipeware version is 1.2.4. Here is some other information. If you consider is important, you can read it. Here is all the network, partitions, unmounted, repos, sensors, which is unnecessary for the video, so I'm just going to scroll it down. So process right now running is 271, uptime is almost 14 minutes. And what else we have here? Init systemd version is 256, and Clang version is 18.1.8, and GCC version 14.2.1, Shell Bash version is 5.2.32, console or INXI version is 3.3.35. So let me install the NeoFetch. So here you can see the NeoFetch information, like operating system is EndeavourOS Linux, the VMware, kernel version, uptime which is 18 minutes, packages 1062 Pacman, Shell Bash version which is 5.2.32, KDE Plasma version which I already mentioned. Here is the theme, icons, and the console, the CPU, and the RAM. So we got all the information here. Let's close the terminal and let's open the installer. So in the previous versions you should be seeing like an offline installer and an online installer. Let's open and see. So here you should be seeing all the changes or the general information. So welcome screen version is 24.8.1-1. So here is the version. Here is the start the installer. Calamares installer version is like this. Let's open the installer. So here if you want to update the mirrors, you can do whatever you want. So just click on it, you should be getting all the information. If you want to change the language, you can click here for the software news, click here for the changelog, click here. General information like a website and all those things, which I already showed you everything. If you go to the official website, you should be also seeing the forum and all those things like a wiki, news, everything. So let's close everything like this. And again, you should be getting like a online and offline installation, which I already mentioned. So basically it was like a XFC desktop environment in the previous versions. So I forgot that it changed. Offline version you get right now is KDE Plasma. Internet connection is not needed. After install, updating system is recommended. So if you download the offline version, you should to do all these things. And if you go with the online method lets you choose your desktop, which I already showed or said in the beginning. Like you get a lot of desktop environments. Internet connection is compulsory required because it's online, obviously. After install system is up to date. So let's click on online first, and also I'm going to show you the offline also. So it's going to take like a 30-40 seconds usually, but let's see how much of time it's going to take. And about the desktop features, you should be seeing everything same because it's a KDE Plasma desktop environment. So everything will be same as like a KDE Plasma. So these are all the changes: notifications, VLAN to X11, video bridge, brightness and color, display configuration, KDE Connect, power management and other things. So here is our EndeavourOS, like a 5th anniversary or 5th year. So right now it's a different language. Let me change it to American English. Here it is. And about the Calamares 3.3.7, here is the installer. And let's click on the next. So first choose your language. And as you can see, there is also a map design bit different. Click on next. Choose your location. I'm using a VPN, so that's the reason it's different. You can choose the map or you can choose the drop down menu. Again, this is the same installation. There is nothing complicated. So the system language will be set to American English, United States. If you want, you can change it, or else you can keep it like that. The next option is the numbers and date locales will be set to American English, United States. Again, if you want to change it, you can change it or else keep it like that. And after clicking on next, you should be seeing the keyboard. So it automatically chooses your keyboard, but if anything is wrong, just change your keyboard here. Choose the language of the keyboard or choose the variant of the keyboard here. If you want to test your keyboard, you can click here. If you want to switch your keyboard, you can switch right here. Click next and you should be getting a lot of desktop environment, which obviously I mentioned in the beginning. So if you want the no desktop, you can choose it. Here is the Plasma. This is how it looks, and also we are running right now is a KDE Plasma. And when you go with the GNOME, here it looks like a GNOME desktop environment. And XFCE, which is I think 4.18 version. Here is the Cinnamon version. Here is the Matte desktop environment, the Budgie, LXQT, LXDE, i3WM. So before that, before continuing with the installation, let me show you the system requirements, because I forgot to show you the system requirements. Usually I show in every video, but let me type in EndeavourOS system requirements. Just click it like that, and you should be getting the first official website. So it says 2.5 GB of RAM. So let it load first. Let's continue everything. So here is all the information. Recommended or the minimum requirements is 2.5 GB of RAM for offline installs, dual core processor, 64-bit. Here is other information, 15 GB of hard drive. Installer still supports legacy BIOS only systems, but it is recommended to run modern EFI or UEFI systems, not on legacy. So these are all the requirements of the EndeavourOS. So you just need to type in your Linux distro, and in front of you just need to type in a system requirements. You should be getting all the information. So this is the requirements of the EndeavourOS. So let me close it. Let's click on next. So here are all the packages. So you just need to go on the packages. Here you should be seeing everything. So available packages are right here. I'm just going to show you the clicking on drop down menu so you can see every packages properly. Printing support. So if you want anything, you can just check it here and you should be getting all the information. When you click on next, here you should be seeing the bootloader. If you want to check it, you can check it or else uncheck it. It's clearly up to you. So click on next. Here are the partitions. So from here everything will be same. Let me show you the offline installer now. Let's open the Calamares installer. Let it take a few seconds and you should be seeing the offline installer. Let's open the start the installer. So from that part you should be seeing the same offline installer. So that's the reason I opened the installer again. Let's go to the offline. So after that everything will be same from online and also offline. The only things packages and desktop environments are added. Other than that everything will be same. So as you can see everything is same. Let me first change the language. So let's click next, location next, keyboard next, bootloader. So again, if you don't know how to install the Linux distro in the virtual disk or maybe in the main PC or a work PC, so you need to watch some tutorials which are available in the YouTube, which will be a bit shorter. So the first option basically is it's going to delete your first choose the installation drive. If you have a multiple installation drive, you can choose whatever you want, wherever you want to install the EndeavourOS. After choosing, you should be choosing like a erase disk if you want to boot it in the single boot. So basically this option is like it's going to delete everything like a media files, photos, music, everything which is available in that chosen drive. And it's going to delete even the current operating system, and it's going to just install the EndeavourOS. So basically this option is like that. So here are the options. The manual partitioning, you need to first create a partition before choosing this option, and the partition will be available right here. And after clicking on the partition, after choosing this option, the EndeavourOS will be installed in that specific partition, and you should be seeing the two operating systems or dual boot options in the boot menu. So there is some issues right now running in the internet, like there is like you can't properly dual boot right now because there was some issues right now. So if you want any information, you can just get all the information on the internet. Like there is some issues like after update there is some like so the Ubuntu or any operating system, the dual boot operating system is not properly booting. So if you want to dual boot, you need to get all the information, like there is some like issues and all those things. Try to research on your own if you want to dual boot. So if you choose the dual boot, you should be seeing like that. But if you ask me how to dual boot, it's always a better option to choose a different hard disk. If you have like a multiple hard disk, choose one operating system for Windows or whatever the operating system you want to use, and other for the Linux. So you need to choose two hard disk or a SSD. Always keep like a two hard disk, because if anything is going to wrong, both operating system will be deleted if you use only one drive. So it's always a good option to choose use like a two hard drives or two SSDs. It will be a good option. Even it's a bit expensive, try to do it like that, because if you save anything in that, both the operating system will be corrupted and can't properly boot. So that's the reason. It's better up to you to do your research and get all the information. So let's continue with the video. After choosing the option, you should be seeing the encrypt your system. So if you want to encrypt your system, you can provide the password, which should be both in the boxes, which should be same. The current drive will be like this. After installation, it will be like this. And bootloader location, here it will be like this. So if you watch the tutorials, you know what to do here. After click next. So it says like a user account creation. So you need to create your account, user account, which is same in every operating system and same in every Linux system. So it says what is your name. So I'm going to provide my channel name, 9to5 Linux. What name do you want to use to log in? I'm choosing the other thing. So if you choose the numericals, there is like a pop-up or a error sign here. Your username must start with a lowercase letter or underscore. So always use the alphabets like this. And what is the name of this computer? I'm going to keep it like a 9to5 Linux. So if everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark beside the boxes. So choose a password to keep your account safe. Choose your password. Always give the strong password. Don't use like a simple password. If you don't remember the password, just write it down in the note-taking apps in the phones and it should be good. So log in automatically without asking for the password. I'm going to check this and use the same password for the administrator account. So if you want to use the same password for the administrator account, you just need to click here. If you don't want to use the same password, just uncheck it and provide the different password. After everything is right, you should be seeing tick mark and click on next. So read everything here, which is a summary. So if everything is good, just click on next. If anything is wrong, just go back and fix those things. And also the installation take like 20 to 25 minutes. It depends on the PC. If you have like a recommended requirements, it should be very quick. If you have like less resources, and it should be taking a bit more there. So this is a stable ISO file. 99% of the cases, the installation will be going good without any issues. So let's close the installer because I need to make another video. So that's the reason I'm closing the installer. So the wallpapers, let's check some wallpapers. So this is a new wallpaper available, and that's the only wallpaper you see in the desktops here. And other things are like KD plasma wallpapers. So you just get some basic or single wallpaper. So we already saw the desktop features, and what else we have? Let's check the pre-installed applications you get from the EndeavourOS. So some are from the EndeavourOS itself and others are from the KD Plasma desktop environment. So I don't consider it as like a bloatware or anything like that, because you basically don't get any of the usually user using applications also. You just get the browser and a media file or the media player like a VLC. Other than that, you don't get the Thunderbird, you don't get the LibreOffice, you don't get anything. So you need to install everything on your own. So basically you don't get any bloatwares or anything like that. So that's the good thing here. If you like the minimal applications from the distro, like built-in, you just get the simple KDE Plasma desktop environment applications, and the others are from EndeavourOS. So this is the basic things you get. So let me do a stress test by opening a few applications. So this is how it's consuming like a resources and all those things. So we don't have a bunch of applications to do a stress test, like for example like a game, Blender, Krita or anything like that, because usually a normal user will be opening 4 or 5 applications. So that's the reason I'm trying to open like a 4 or 5 applications to see whether there will be any lag or high resources when we open like a 4 or 5 applications. So right now it's consuming like a 2.2 GB. CPU is pretty much unstable because every applications are opening in the background, so that's the reason. After every application is opened, you need to see the CPU and everything will be running properly without any issues. So it's going to consume like a 2.2 GB. So already mentioned, in order to run this Linux distribution, I already mentioned these minimum system requirements in order to run EndeavourOS. So it's consuming like a 2.2 GB, and also it's a virtual machine, so it's going to be consuming a bit more. In the bare metal, it's going to be consuming a bit lesser CPU and also lesser RAM. So when we try to switch the applications, I see there is no lag or anything like that. So everything is performing without issues. I don't see any lag. So that's a good work here. So this is just like a minor update. So this is not a major update or anything. So I already showed every information of in the official website and also in the distro. So this is how it performed, and it's clearly up to you to judge whether to use it or not. So these are the versions you get. Browser version already mentioned in the beginning. So let's see what version we get in the VLC media player. You get the 3.0.21, and the Calamares version is right here and also in the official website. About the file manager, you should be seeing the same version, which is 24.08.1, and other things like you know how to customize, you know how to configure and all those things. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and I'm going to end the video here. So this is how it performed in the in my virtual machine. So these are all the resources. Let me show you the process also. Applications. Here is the history. Here are all the processes running right now. So this is how it performed. Everything was working properly without issues. There was no lag or any delay, just a minor hiccups here and there in the beginning. After that, there was no issues. So everything was running. And if you want any information, you can just go to their official website and get all the information. And also I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So there will be another video of like a pop voice after a few hours because I need to edit and all those things. So that's the reason. So give me like a 4 or 5 hours and the other video will be available. So if you don't want to wait, just subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification. As soon as the video is available, you should be getting the information. You don't need to just watch on my channel. And so thanks for watching. Peace out. So there is no username or password anything. It automatically logs you in. Thanks for watching. Peace out.